Hey stretchers, welcome back to Stretch Street Podcast. Today's episode is for anyone who's carrying an idea, that business idea, that dream that keeps gently or sometimes loudly tapping on your heart. So many of us are walking around with ideas we haven't acted on. Not because we are lazy, not because we are incapable, not because we feel overwhelmed, unsure, or afraid of getting it wrong. And I want to start by saying this. Having an idea doesn't mean you have to rush into execution. Did you hear that? I'll say it again. Having an idea doesn't mean you have to rush into execution. Sometimes the actual stretch is not in doing, is not in rushing to execute, is actually in waiting, sitting, brooding, so that you can understand what that idea is about, what that vision is about, and the best way to actually execute it. Now, I know there is a caveat to that. There are people who now get into overdrive, overthinking, over preparing, and all of that. I will get into that in a moment. But essentially, sometimes the stretch that you are to experience on that journey as the person who carries this idea, as the person who carries this vision, is actually sitting on that idea to look at it deeply, to explore it, to understand it, to become one with it before your first step to executing it. As somebody who has failed a couple of times, as someone who has launched multiple ideas and have failed, I can tell you for free that this is very, very, very important. Now, why do we feel stuck with ideas? Let's talk honestly. Why? Why do so many ideas stay trapped in our minds? For some of us, it's fear. And it's valid. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, sometimes fear of success. Yes, you heard me. While on the other hand, it is overwhelm. Like you look at the idea and you look at it again, you're wondering, how on earth did I get this idea? Like who sent me? So you feel the overwhelm because you see the amount of work it's going to take to bring this idea to life. So you Google, you research and research, you listen to podcasts, you watch videos, and then suddenly that idea, entrepreneurship, visionary life feels like 1,000 steps instead of one. And then there's pressure. Yes, the pressure to monetize. Like, what are you doing business for if you're not making money? What's the point of having an idea if the idea does not add any value to you? So there's the pressure to monetize. There's the pressure to scale. Like even though, okay, maybe some money is coming in, you're like, is this the most I can do? So there's pressure to scale. And then there's pressure to build fast. You look around you and the people you started the journey together are just going bam, 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 from one store. They already have 3 stores. They already from one branch. They already have 3 branches. So there's also that pressure to build fast. So that is like, hey, the market is going to be saturated before it gets to my turn. I understand that pressure. So instead of building intentionally, we either rush or we freeze. But what if entrepreneurship or the visionary life didn't start with pressure? What if it started with clarity? And I'm sure one of you or 2 of you listening to this can attest to this. Probably you've launched an idea and the first thing you did was actually sit still to be clear, like crystal clear before you took action. But if you're listening to me and that was not your story, don't worry, don't despair. You are not alone. You are not alone at all. On my own journey, I've learned that entrepreneurship is one of the deepest stretches a person can experience. My God, oh my goodness. Being an entrepreneur will mess with your mind, with the image you have of yourself. If you're not strong, if your identity is not strong and you want to dabble into entrepreneurship will stretch you. It will deal with you. But if you can go through the process, most times you come out on the other side refined. Just the idea of being an entrepreneur, it will not only stretch you professionally, it will stretch you personally. Because before you build anything externally, you have to meet yourself internally. You have to know and understand and accept your fears. You have to know and understand your strengths. You have to know and understand your motivation. You have to know and understand your boundaries, if you have any at all. If you don't have at all, then you have to know so that you can put some in place. Do you see? That's why I believe that the first real step in entrepreneurship isn't marketing. It's not about marketing. See, as I speak to you, I am speaking to me, and I'm speaking out of experience. Where I remember my first, my first registered LTD. We did everything, branding, logos, having staff, having, marketing, but honestly, the first step into real entrepreneurship is not marketing. It's not branding. It's not even the business plan. It is self-understanding. I wish I knew this over a decade ago. I wish. I think I will be in a way better position than I am now. But I'm still grateful for my journey, right? So when you know yourself, your values, your capacity, and your pace, you build a business that lasts. Not a business that will burn you out. Not a business that will take the life out of you, where you are eating, breathing, the business. And I mean, there's season for that, but if you don't understand your own self, there is every tendency that whatever it is you build from that place of ungroundedness, for a lack of better word, it might not last. And that's why I love intentional, grounded approaches to entrepreneurship. I mean, it's taken me decades to get here, but again, what's that saying? Better late than never, right? Well, so let me introduce something to you. This is where I want to introduce a platform that genuinely aligns with this philosophy. It's called Riada Community. Riada Community supports people in moving from idea to tangible business steps without overwhelm and without pressure. Now, what I love most about this approach is that they don't rush people. They don't rush you as a founder or as a business owner or as somebody who even just has an idea, but is seriously looking at, officially starting that business. They don't rush people straight into execution. They start with clarity. Now, they have two beautiful packages that I want to tell you about. They are launching your business booklet, walks you through the following. It walks you through understanding yourself as the business owner or as the idea owner, understanding your customers. Who exactly do you want to serve? Who do you want to help? Who is your product for, or who is your services for? It helps you build a thoughtful business plan and even legal foundation to protect what you're building. And then the second product that Riada Community has that I want to let you in on is their Marketing Essentials booklet. What does this do for you? It helps you understand brand identity. It helps you build marketing funnels. It helps you to choose the right channels and create content that actually connects. Now, this is entrepreneurship that honors process, not hustle. Like, you take your time, but you're building a rock solid foundation. So if you've been feeling stuck between your idea and action, this is the kind of structure that brings calm instead of chaos. I am going to put a link to the website in this show note. Please go there. I'll put a link to the resources that I just mentioned to you. I'll put a link in the show notes. Please go there and check it out for yourself. And if you do click to want to get one of these products, you can use the code SSP, that stands for Stretch Street Podcast, right? SSP. Use that code to get a special discount when you check out from getting any of this products I've just spoken to you about. Well, there are packages or services, right? So try it out and let me know. But honestly, you don't have to carry the load alone. And I can tell you for free, I am currently going through the program with Riada Community. So I know that what they have actually helps me get back to the drawing board, and that's why I'm introducing them to you. So please check it out. Remember to use SSP if you're getting any of those products and get a special discount. Now, here is something I want to remind you of. You don't need to become someone else to become an entrepreneur. You go on social media, you see a lot of people who are Probably their natural inclination is to be calm, is to be gentle, is to be, but because, okay, this is what's going on social media. People are dancing, they got to dance. Not because that's something that they will naturally do. And I'm just saying, if it's okay with you, by all means go with it, that's fine. But I'm saying that you don't need to become someone else. You don't need to take on a personality that is not yours just because you are an entrepreneur or you own a business and you want to sell, right? So you don't need to be louder if you're calm. You don't need to be faster if you're a bit paced. You don't need to be busier if you're that kind of person who actually takes time, all right? You get to build in a way that fits your nervous system, your lifestyle, and your values, especially your values. Because anything that you're doing out of your values, there's a misalignment there, and it's only a matter of time before it catches up with you, and everything will just come crumbling. Even when it doesn't, there's just a dissonance between or within you, right? And there is that's another breeding ground for imposter syndrome. So you don't want to do that. You want to build something that is in alignment with who you are, with your lifestyle, with your values. Entrepreneurship is a stretch. I'll say that again. It stretches you. It's a beautiful pathway if it is designed for you. Not all of us are called to be entrepreneurs. Some of us really thrive within the confines of a career, of a company, right? And we do amazing work. So some of us are intrapreneur, which means we have the characteristics of an entrepreneur, but we flourish within a structured environment, which is within a bigger organization. So if that's you, please stay there and shine on. But if there's something calling out for you to say, I need to do this thing, there's this idea, there's this solution that I don't see, and I want to provide it, and I have what it takes. I have the training, I have the capacity, I have the idea, I have the passion, I have the motivation, and I have the structure, and I just need to lean into it. Then I'd say entrepreneurship is for you. But I'll also tell you it is a stretch, but it doesn't have to be a strain. Stretching is expanding. Straining is stressing you out and you might snap. All right? So here is today's stretch for you. What idea has been quietly waiting for your attention? And what would it look like to approach it with clarity instead of pressure? I'll say that again. What idea has been quietly waiting for your attention? Is it to write a book? Is it to start a podcast? Is it to start a business? Is it to create a product? Whatever it is. And what would it look like to approach it with clarity instead of pressure? Sit with that. No urgency, no forcing, just honesty. Remember, this season on Stretch Street, right, is about stretching without pressure. No pressure. And today, that includes the way we build our dreams. We build it without pressure. We build it without constraint. We build it without feeling or overwhelm, right? So thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening. And until next time, stretch gently, please, my darlings, and trust your pace. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey, thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope that you got something of value, and I hope that if you're a person who is into business, just starting, or you want to go back to the drawing board, I hope you check out the resource on Rihanna community. The link is attached to the show notes. Go check it out. Remember to use the code SSP to get yourself a discount, all right? And let me know how it's going with your business. And if you have any questions around business, you can also share with me. I will help you ask business owners who are thriving in their business, and I can bring the answers to you in another episode. All right, so please reach out to me anytime on stretchstreetpod@gmail.com. Bye bye.